What's up, guys? It's Devin. I'm back with another PSA reveal video. I do apologize ahead of time. I am doing daddy daycare today, so my 3.5-year-old son is with me in the basement, and you're making a lot of noise this morning. So we'll see how you do when I make this video. But you hear some baby little laughs and smiles and giggles. That's him in the background. But we got 6 boxes from PSA. I don't remember which one this is. I got 3 back submissions recently. One of them was phenomenal. I'm pretty sure it's not this one. It's a 50-50 chance that this one was okay or this one was the worst sub out of the 8 of the Marvel. So I thought I'd give it a go and see which one it is. I'm not going to look ahead of time. That way it can be more of an authentic reveal. So we'll see what happens. But again, this is probably 100 plus Marvel cards. We'll have to see if we can get the exact number towards the end of the video. But if you've watched some of them up to this point, this is 1990 Marvel Universe. I submitted nearly 900 cards from the set when I opened up 2 sealed boxes. And I submitted them in 8 different PSA submissions. And I started getting them back recently, so I've just been slow rolling them as a YouTube video when I get them. Alright, PSA 9. PSA 9, Iron Man. Spider-Man Presents. PSA 6. That's not good. PSA 9. We'll always take a PSA 9. PSA 6 is a disaster of a grade. PSA 6. PSA 9. I hope this isn't the bad sub. That'd be really upsetting. PSA 8. PSA 9. These are going to be a lot of the Spider-Man Presents, the comics. PSA 9. PSA 9. Because when I had submitted, I kind of submitted them based off of like the category that they were. So like they're superheroes, supervillains, famous battles. You got the comics, the Spider-Man Presents. So it's kind of how I did it. PSA 7. I got a feeling this might be the bad sub. PSA 9. And a PSA 8. Alright, so we'll put these in their categories. We got the 9s. We got the 8s. I'll put these off to the side. We got our 7s. And we got our disaster, which I call the 6s. I mean, anything that's below an 8 is considered a disaster, in my opinion. But. So no 10s out of that first batch. That's not a good start, Mac. It's not a good start, buddy. What do you think? You gonna say hi to the people? You gonna say hi to them? You just gonna smile at them? Well, they can't see you. How does that work? Alright, box number 2. Let's see what's cracking with it. PSA 6. Alright, this might be the bad one. Oh boy. 6. 5. This is gonna be sad. PSA 6, but it's okay. I wanted clarity, even if it was a bad submission, because I want everybody to see what the total like submission percentage gem rate was, and that it's interesting because obviously they probably have different graders. I submitted all these cards from the same 2 boxes. So there's nothing that I did like differently. And it was fascinating to see that I think the highest gem rate for one of the subs so far. Oh my god, this is just like, are these supposed to be 9s and they just show 6s? Like, this is crazy. I just want to show like how, I shouldn't say inconsistent, because I don't know if it's the grader or if it's just the cards that were submitted for the different submissions, but like, if this is the sub that I'm thinking, it only went like 1 or 2% on PSA 10s out of 100 plus cards. And then I had other submissions from the exact same set, exact same boxes that went 27% gem rate. So it's like, it's so drastically different. It's just hard for me to believe that every single card in this submission was a dud, except for like 2. It's just crazy to think about. But I want to make sure everybody could see this. I know it's not going to be the most entertaining because there's not a bunch of 10s. There's a 7. There's an 8. But I think it's good for people to see. 9, team pictures. An 8. 9. Yeah, you got opinions? I got opinions too, Mac. 9. 9. If this is the first time watching a PSA reveal video from me for this specific set, anything that gets a 9, I'm happy with. Anything that gets a 10, I'm ecstatic with. Anything that gets an 8, I'll tolerate because most of the 8s would at least cover grading costs, and some of them would be a little bit more. PSA 9s are definitely covering grading costs. PSA 9s right now, I've been averaging a sale for a PSA 9 around 30. I think my highest one sold so far has been $75 for the Punisher. From what I can tell, that doesn't grade very well. So it's been a popular one as a PSA 9. Stan Lee, I think, did 65. And I think the lowest PSA 9 I've sold so far is 20. But the majority have been around that $25, $30 mark. So these were graded at $12 a card. So the $30 average is great for 9s because it's obviously increasing the value of the cards significantly. But we just went through half that submission and not one single PSA 10. It's nuts. Nutso taco. I would be genuinely interested. I'll never fault graders. Grading is a human thing. It's always going to be different from person to person. I would like to know, though, for my 8 different Marvel submissions, if I got 8 different graders or if any of them were the same grader. I'd be genuinely curious. 9. Hey! A 10 for us. So hard to find in this sub right here. Spider-Man Presents Thor, which is a cool one. It's one of the comics. 9. 9. Silver Surfer, PSA 10. There we go. That might be the only 2 10s in this submission. 9. That's okay, though. We had a couple good ones. We started off, the first one was great. It was like a 25% gem rate. Then it dropped to the second one. It was closer to like 9-10%. And then this one is obviously super low. I do have one of the other ones that I have back, which I'll post later this week, which is a monster one. I think it's going to be the best submission out of all of them. And that was the biggest one, which is nice because it was 157 cards, and I think it had the best gem rate out of all of them so far. So I'll show you guys that one later in the week, but that is just the way it goes. Sometimes they're phenomenal, and sometimes they're not, but that's why you grade, because you never know what can happen. All right, so we got 2 10s, our first 2 10s, and I believe our only 10s. But I can't remember for sure. I briefly, when PSA, so I submitted all these directly to PSA. When they send the email and they say like grades available, I briefly look at it just to see if there's like any monsters in it, or it's just exciting to look at it real quick, but I don't remember everything. Like I didn't remember those 2 were gems. But I'd like to say safely that those are the only 2 gems. I guess we'll relive here in a moment. Also, if I'm going to take away another bright side thing, like if I'm going to look on the bright side today and try to be positive, the majority of this sub is cards that aren't that high in value, even if they do 10. So people like in this set the superheroes and supervillains, like, because those are just like characters in and of themselves. All this other stuff that's in this submission, which is the team pictures, and then the Spider-Man Presents, the comics, aren't as popular when it comes to the 10 prices. I think the majority of these are going to be hitting around the 175 to 200 mark if they're 10s. So if I'm being positive, at the end of the day, if I wanted a submission to not be that good with the gem rate, it'd probably be this one. Because people care more about the superheroes and supervillains, like the base characters, those sell better. Now, obviously, there's some team pictures that are pretty cool, like the Avengers, obviously, X-Men, like, that's a nice PSA 10 for us. As I literally say, there's a couple team pictures that are cool. All right, so we got 3 PSA 10s. Oh, my goodness. PSA 9. But, I mean, you're talking about a select few that are Fantastic Four is decent. This stuff just doesn't sell as well. It's just, it is what it is. Mac, what do you think? Last box. Are we getting any more gems? We got 3 right now, dude. What do you think? Okay. All right. You think there's going to be one more? I don't know. I think you're lying, dude. I think you're lying. No, no, no. I think you're lying. All right. Final box from this submission. Then we'll go over, if you want to call them highlights, I'll just go over some results. All right. This was, how many cards were in this submission? What I want to remember. 108. So this is a 108 card submission. Right now we have 3 gems out of 108. I'll write that number down so you can check them out afterwards. Oh, I think this is the one that had the checklist, which was I was excited about because I thought it was going to be really cool if we could gem some of the checklists. Because that's the final card in the set. I think it's card number 162. The Stan Lee is card number 161, which is probably one of the more popular ones. I don't know if he's the most expensive right now. I think the Spider-Man, the main Spider-Man, is the most expensive. PSA 9 there. PSA 6. There were so many PSA 6s in this. All right, here we go. Some Stan Lees. PSA 9. I don't think any of these gemmed. PSA 9. I'll happily take a bunch of 9s for some Stan Lees, though. Like I said, I sold my first PSA 9 for 65 of Stan Lee. All right, checklist PSA 6. I want to say these all rolled PSA 6s, which was kind of unfortunate. I was hoping for a higher grade of one of these. Yep, 6. Another PSA 6 for the checklist. And the final grade, a PSA 6. So, it's kind of tough there. All those checklists got PSA 6s. But then you got all these Stan Lees. They got PSA 9s, which was sweet. All right, so here we go. We'll start from the absolute worst. You got a stack of 5s, which was 2 5s. I'm going to write this stuff down so I can break it down for you guys. All right, this was the stack of PSA 6s, which was super disheartening. This is why I think it makes it the worst sub. I don't necessarily care about the gem rate as much because PSA 9s are still really cool. I mean, they sell really great at card shows. They're fun to deal with because they're cheaper cards. I mean, card shows, they sell $25-30, which is an easy thing for somebody to add to their PC for a small price. But these PSA 6s were really disheartening. I mean, that's a large stack right there. So that was really disheartening for this sub. PSA 7s, it's so funny that like PSA 5s and PSA 7s got 2 of each, and then the PSA 6s got like 40 cards in this submission. It was wild. This is a small stack of PSA 8s, which I don't, like I said, 8s are fine. They probably break even on the grading cost. They're probably around $15-20 depending on the character. Now there's some, I will say this, like I've sold like a Baseman Spider-Man, I think from the 91 set, a PSA 8 was like 30 bucks. So like, if it's the main characters for PSA 8, you can still sell them and get your grading costs back and a little bit extra, but it's nothing to write home about. This was the large stack of PSA 9s, including a handful of Stan Lees at the top. I'm not upset about that. I'll take that large stack of PSA 9s all day, especially the Stan Lees. Like I said, I think there's, what, 4 right here? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, those, like I said, I just sold one for $65, and I was the cheapest listed at the time. Then here was the only gems from the submission. You got team pictures of the Avengers, which is actually a pretty sweet one. I'll take that. You got Spider-Man Presents Silver Surfer, the comic. And then Spider-Man Presents Thor comic, which is actually interesting timing because Thor 4 is coming out, I believe, in July, if I'm not mistaken, and it's going to feature Natalie Portman, which should be a pretty cool movie. So those were the 3 gems in this submission. Overall, super disappointing. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, sorry. Put a cherry on top and all that good jazz. Like, it was a bad submission. But so far, this has been the only bad submission of Marvel. So I just wanted to be, give you guys perfect clarity on the goods and the bads of this 1990 Marvel submission, so you guys can kind of get an idea of whether you think it was worth it or whether it wasn't worth it. From sub to sub, it might change, but overall, I think it was worth it. Sometimes you just got to take a couple bad with the good. So this was the bad, unfortunately. I hope you guys enjoyed at least seeing this. There was a few 10s, so which was kind of cool, but that is it. Hope you guys have a great day. Comment, like if you liked the video. Comment if you had something on your mind that you want to say about the video. I respond to every comment at this time. I got time, so that's what I'm here for. But everyone have a great day, and don't forget to smile. Later, guys.